The First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, has said people across Scotland are willing Boris Johnson on in his personal battle with coronavirus. The Prime Minister remains in intensive care in hospital where he is receiving oxygen but not using a ventilator to aid his breathing. The Foreign Secretary, Dominic Raab, who is deputising for the PM, said he was confident Mr Johnson would pull through. Here's our Chief Political Correspondent, Glenn Campbell.
Just across the river from Westminster, a few minutes' drive from Downing Street, Boris Johnson's beginning a second night in intensive care at St Thomas's Hospital as political friends and rivals pray for his recovery. While Boris Johnson is in intensive care, it is for the Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab and the wider cabinet to take acting charge, making key decisions that would normally come from the Prime Minister, including in defence and national security, should that be required.
It must have been hugely difficult for him yesterday when he had to make the decision to hand over some of those controls to the Foreign Secretary and the rest of the Cabinet, because it is in his instinct to lead from the front, to be energetic from the front, and that's partly why he's not recovered from this illness in the way that some other people have.
The Scottish Secretary, Alistair Jack, has recovered from coronavirus symptoms, as has UK Government Health Secretary Matt Hancock, who tested positive for Covid-19. When the Prime Minister last appeared in public, it was to applaud NHS staff. Now he's one of thousands across the UK depending on their care.
I think having the Prime Minister, who's such a big, brilliant, energetic figure as he is, and also occupying the highest position in the land, then being struck low by this, it affects people in a different way as well. There's a recognition that this is no respecter of rank or privilege or anything else.
Tonight, anxious hours lie ahead for Boris Johnson and his family, for people in all corners of the UK. Glenn Campbell, reporting Scotland.
Well, our Westminster correspondent David Porter joins me now. David, we know Dominic Raab is deputising for Boris Johnson. He's just held a briefing. What did he have to say about the Prime Minister's condition?
Well, Laura, after the shock announcement yesterday evening that the Prime Minister had been taken into intensive care, perhaps not surprising that a lot of the questions at the daily Downing Street news conference to Dominic Raab initially were about Boris Johnson's health. We were told by Mr Raab that the Prime Minister is in a stable condition, that he is in good spirits, that he is breathing unaided, that he is getting oxygen treatment, but he is not on a ventilator, nor has he got pneumonia. He will be spending a second night at least in the intensive care unit. But at the end of the day, even though everyone wants the Prime Minister to get better, tonight we have a situation whereby the man who is leading the UK-wide fight against coronavirus is too ill to do his job. Not only is he in hospital, but he is in a hospital ward like many hundreds of other people throughout the United Kingdom, where he is getting the very highest level of treatment, and at any level, any time, that treatment could be stepped up.
OK, David, thank you very much for that update. The boss of 15 Scottish nursing homes has said that his staff are being treated like cannon fodder by the Scottish Government. Robert Kilgar, who founded the Renaissance group of care homes, employs 1,100 people.